Hi, I'm Laura and I am ADHD AF. Seriously. In the interim between seasons 2 and 3, I've created these micro interviews to use the platform to share useful information to the ADHD community. I'm just a late diagnosed ADHDer sharing my lived experiences, which means I'm not a psychiatrist, therapist, or coach. I am not trained or even emotionally equipped to offer advice or support. And that's why I've gathered these golden nuggets of information from people who actually know what they're talking about. There will likely be swearing and sensitive subject matter, so please have a read of the description of each episode before ingesting these juicy morsels of information, or in other words, tidbits. I am very excited to be joined by the wonderful ADHD Father UK. Jacob has very kindly agreed to come on here and educate me about shit I know nothing about. So there are so many areas that people ask me questions that I literally don't have any experience about. And as I always say, I'm only an expert by my own experience. So thank you very much, Jacob, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's lush.
Your platform is ADHD Father UK. So you offer advice and support to parents?
Yeah, so I set up the account before my daughter was born. There was no representation. There was no other parents talking about their experiences of being a parent with ADHD. It grew from there of me sort of sharing my own experiences of being a parent with ADHD, but also highlighting injustices that a lot of other parents with children with ADHD face. I offer information and resources on parents who have children with ADHD as well. So it's a bit of a mixed bag.
Wonderful. What a ledge. I'm going to set a timer because we're both ADHD AF, because the last time we talked for about 2 hours. So you yourself are a parent with ADHD. Please, will you share your pearls? I'm starting the clock. Go.
I suppose the first, starting at the very beginning, it's all about sort of, if you're at that early stage, so if your partner is pregnant, start writing down like what are some of your struggles, what are things you're worried about, some of your fears, what are things that you think might be a positive, negative, and share that with your partner. A lot of parents find out through possibly assessing their child that they might have ADHD. The more education you do about ADHD, the more empowered you feel about your own struggles, but also the more you can make changes. A big thing at that early stage was writing down some of my fears. What are the things I'm really scared about? What are the things I'm worried for the future? I hear a lot of parents that go, it's hard enough being a parent. I haven't got time to do all that stuff as a grown adult. We can't be good parents unless we can't look after ourselves. So that self-care is so important. It's really important to sort of know how we can be as a parent, but also as a partner, or like navigating that thing is hard enough. Like if you're a new parent, be aware that there might be things you have to look out for in your own child's behaviors to sort of get that early intervention stuff. In America, when they assess children now, they also assess the parent, which is a great bit of practice. Obviously, we don't do that in the UK, but it's really important to understand that. A lot of families I talk to now, if it's stuff to do with their children, I sort of say, and what about mum and dad? Is there anything there? Because that knowledge is so important. And a lot of people now are seeing with the later diagnosis, it's because they've started either they're looking at and supporting their children and they go, oh, okay, I meet some of those symptoms. So a big thing is knowledge is power. Wherever you're coming in this journey, if you're a new parent or you're later on diagnosed, knowledge is power. So there's some amazing resources. There's a really good documentary in America called The Disruptors. It's definitely the best ADHD documentary out there. It's the first thing I've watched ever in the 20 years experience I've had of ADHD where I felt heard and sort of represented properly in media. There's a couple of times since in like print, but never really on a documentary I could watch with my own eyes. I would say the main thing is self-care. So there's areas that I never really struggled with ADHD before, which now I definitely struggle with. Sensitivity to noise was never a big issue to me before. I worked in clubs, I worked in loads of places where it's very noisy, where now there's certain noises that my children make that it just reacts differently than me. In certain situations, I wear those really ugly, big ear defenders. So if my kids are having meltdowns or like situations where it feels like, I describe it as like you're bubbling and you're ready to erupt, I'll quickly put them on, and that diffuses my sort of I wouldn't say temper, but a lot of people, we don't talk about ADHD and anger. And if you're going to be pushed by anyone, children is especially at that toddler age, you're going to get pushed then. So just being aware of that. A big thing I do is reflective practice. If something's gone wrong in the day, or the kids have had a meltdown or something, normally if I look back at it, it's something that I've done or like we've done it. Where did this come from? And it's either come from me not within reason, 9 times, like just going impulsively, let's go. Da, da, da. And they're like, hang on. And they're sat in a position of relaxation. They're relaxing. And then they're being told, let's go out of the house right this second. Right. Da, 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 da. And
so ironically, you've been the disruptor.
Yeah. And so like that is a really negative side of it. The good bits, I would say, and sometimes that impulsivity means let's go to the fun fair, or let's go and do this. And those are core memories that I had with my dad that I hope my kids will remember.
Yeah.
A big part for me, because the rates are so high from parent to child, I don't know if my children have got ADHD, but I want them to be aware of ADHD, and it'd be a regular conversation we have in this house. So I've got some amazing book called Abilities in Me, which is for young kids, and it just educates them about ADHD. My daughter is 7 now. I will talk to her regularly about ADHD, so much so like I'll go, oh, this is so-and-so, they've got ADHD. And she said to me the other day, what, another person with ADHD? Like, it's a regular thing.
We get about.
And I want her to see it as something that is a part of this family within reason. I don't want it to be a taboo. I want her to see that dad has struggles, and I'm very open. I'll talk to her. I'll say that if decisions that have been made that I've probably reacted differently to them, I'll go back once things have calmed down and explain why I might have reacted like that. Because I want her to know that I'm not perfect, and sometimes I make mistakes.
And I guess also you're leading by example, aren't you? Like anybody can make a mistake, but you also have the accountability to explain and apologize, etc.
Because I think that really drives it home to families. Like, look, this is how important it is. It just doesn't just appear from nowhere. Sometimes it does, but it's very rare. It normally comes from the family.
Just to recap what I have got here, which is really nice because it rings true from what I've been banging on about, just I didn't know that I could apply it here as well, is first and foremost, you've talked about self-inventory. So it's about looking at your struggles, looking at you said your fears as becoming a new parent. So looking at that and then communicating with your partner, those fears, the ways in which you might fall down, the ways in which you might need support. And then, of course, the education. So it is that empowerment in knowledge so that you actually know what you're up against. And then self-care. So they're kind of your 4 main points there.
Definitely. And like, just to end on it, like, it's not a nice thing to end on, but I think the statistics are showing like perinatal mental health teams are plowing more money into it. ADHD parents are, I think it's 2 or 3 times more likely to experience postnatal depression than non-ADHD people. It's something I struggled with. I don't know if it was because of my ADHD or not, but it's so high, the rates are so high that it's really important we take it seriously, especially those perinatal periods, and just have those conversations. Exactly what I said, like knowledge is everything, but communication is key.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And with 40 seconds to spare, and I'm so excited that you will be at Tonight Josephine Bristol for the Alien Nation show on Thursday, the 16th of May.
Yeah, cannot wait for the show. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to meeting everyone. If you're lucky enough that the ADHD AF podcast is coming to a city near you, I encourage you to get your tickets now. Honestly, it's the best ADHD event I've ever been to, and I met so many lovely people and had so much fun.
Go on, sing Rolling in the Deep. We've got 40 seconds. I hope you enjoyed that tidbit from an expert. If so, please comment in the Q&A on Spotify or leave a review wherever you're listening, and I might just keep creating them alongside season 3, which is coming right up with some full-length interviews with absolutely legendary ADHD AF guests. If, like me, late diagnosed ADHD left you feeling like an alien, you are not alone. Come and connect with the community at ADHDAF Alien Nation Live Tour, an intergalactic, huntastic expedition invading 14 UK cities this spring-summer to raise ADHD awareness and connect local ADHDers. Tickets are available via the link in the blurb of this episode and on ADHDasfemales.com/events. These very special live shows explore going from the feelings of alienation to discovering an alien nation. There's a whole planet of us. I hope to see you in real life there and/or chat to you on Discord or over Zoom on the online peer support community Planet ADHDAF.